Welcome back to a new episode of Lorebound, the series where I can't do anything until we learn about it first from an in-game source. Be it mining ores, fletching bows, or killing mobs, all must be mentioned or we can't do it. And it's not as simple as looking up a solution on the wiki, as we have disabled access to all external sources of information, aside from comments, which is Lorebound's one and only lifeline. Last episode we chewed through a bunch of started but not finished quests, including the Legends quest. We also started a few others, like the one that must never be named, in order to find the gemstone mentions we required to get past the gem puzzle in the VLD caverns. Considering how you've been voting before, we hold polls after every episode here. I was almost certain that when I presented you with these 3 poll options, that I knew what you guys were gonna choose next. I thought the poll results might look something like this. I thought you'd get a kick out of shredding through the existing quests. I was wrong. Instead, we got a super majority vote in favor of the desert treasure and its prerequisites, which are still required for the massive goal of Recipe for Disaster. Guess I don't know you all as well as I thought. Nice to see some surprises here and there. Thankfully, many of you were helpful enough to comment about the quest requirements of Desert Treasure. So after a quick look through our completed quests, I realized the reason we were unable to see the Desert Treasure start dialogue was due to 2 quests: the Temple of Ikov and the Tourist Trap quests. Fun Relix fact, the Tourist Trap was the first members quest I ever completed. It also means it's likely going to be a little extra tricky because my knowledge of this quest comes from around 2008. Yeah, you try to remember a single quest from a game you played nearly 20 years ago. I'll wait. Just kidding, we got quests to beat. Let's get started. We start by examining the map to find the start location of the Temple of Ikov quest, and I recall the temple was itself over here, and okay, yeah, here you meet with in the bar to start it up. And after looking through the bar for like a minute, realized he wandered outside and around the back. Lucien, the shady figure, seeks a hero to go on an important mission. He wants us to recover the Staff of Armadil in the Temple of Ikov, apparently long deserted. But we ain't doing that for free, are we? Yes, I do consider myself the mercenary type. Oh, cool, a specific vague reward. Just my type of reward, of course I'll do that. But it ain't so easy. There's a monster that resides in the temple that can only be killed with weapons of ice and other dangers. Lucien gives me a pendant as well, which will ward off a spell on an area known as the Chamber of Fear. Once we have the staff, we're to meet at his house southeast of Edgeville near the Grand Exchange. Sounds good to me, Lucien. Let's delve right in. I recall the ice weapon from the quest he mentioned were ice arrows, and that there was also a bridge that had a weight restriction, so with full graceful and not much else, we set in for the temple. Heading down the ladder, we note that the gate that heads to the ice chest area is locked, and the stairs that lead down to the dark area are, well, too dark for us. Now we could come back with a light source, but considering how nobody has ever mentioned what lies beyond that darkness, and the fact that we already have a full graceful outfit, I feel we're not actually missing out on much. The third gate, while reaching towards it, we become stricken with terror and can't pass through. I guess that's what Lucien's pendant is for. We don the pendant and pass through. This bridge, I think, is the one that requires us to be light to pass over. Of course, Lorebound wouldn't know this, but by mere coincidence, the full graceful armor fulfills the requirement normally bypassed using the Boots of Lightness. Inside the castle area, we do find a lever handle. Now we just need to find the lever holder. Usually they're around the gate they're used on, right? No, maybe back in the terror room? There's a room with another lever, obvious trap door that can't be opened from this side as well. Interesting. So of course we pull the lever. Yep, that is a trap. Whew, okay, 20 damage. Fun stuff. Heading back to the ladder entrance, we finally find the lever bracket. Clunk and flick. The gate to the icy area is now unlocked. We examine a giant buried skeleton. Nothing. We run past several ice spiders and loot several chests. Most have nothing inside, but a couple of them do have ice arrows, which is also very clearly noted in the dialogue box. If these weren't quest items, they would get the unlock pass from us with flying colors. We hop worlds a couple times, collecting a few more arrows before I feel comfortable we'll be able to kill the boss without running out. What boss, you say? Well, the boss just threw this, Okay, I thought I pulled that lever. Did it not count? Pull it again. 20 more damage, of course. And I checked the lever again. Yeah, it seems to reset. I right-click, and yes, there is a disarm button. We disarm and then pull the lever. Should work now, and it indeed does. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, what boss, you say? Why, the Fire Warrior of Lasarkus, of course. Who's Lasarkus? No idea. We pray mage, shred his health down, run out of arrows, and get a little spooked from this message, but realize we can just pick them up and kill him. The door beyond the room unlocks, leading us to a witch and a moat of lava. The witch wants 20 limpwort roots to cross. Wait, limpwort roots, you say? Shuffle, 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 shuffle. That's an unlock, and a pretty big one at that. There are a lot of uses for limpworts, strength and super strength specifically being massive, the latter still being locked for us for now though. Healing up and then returning to the witch, limps in hand, she poofs us over to the other side. Beyond the lava are skeletons, lesser demons, and a wall that we can interact with to lead us to the Guardian of Armadyle's hideout. Upon talking to one, we are taken as an agent of Lucian, still wearing the amulet of course, and attacked. Well, we can't have that now, so we unequip the amulet, move to the other side of the room, and talk again to another person. On my previous playthroughs, I've always just killed the guy, got the staff, and returned to Lucian, but I wanted this run-through to hit just a little bit different. Thou hast ventured deep into the tunnels. You have reached the temple of our master. It's been many ages since a pilgrim has come here. I seek the staff of Armadyle. We are the guardians of the staff. Our fathers were guardians and fathers' fathers before that. Why dost thou seek it? Lucian will give me a grand reward for it. Thou art working for the spawn of evil? Fool! You must be cleansed to save your soul. You're right. It's time for my yearly bath. Gross. Ew. We're then splashed with holy water. You have been cleansed. Lucian must not get a hold of the staff. He would become too powerful. Hast thou come across the undead necromancer? It is he that raised the army of the undead against Varrock a generation ago. If you know where he is, you can help us defeat him. Heck yeah, I'll help with that. Is he close by? Yes. He must be gaining power again. If you can defeat him, he'll be banished from this plane for a while. You'll need this pendant to attack him. We get the Armadyle pendant. Alrighty then, one fairy ring later and oh, he is very close by. It seems quite fitting that we use the ice arrows to end him as well. Several arrows later and Lucian cries, "You have defeated me for now. I shall reappear to the north," before poofing away in a cloud of smoke. Quest complete, boosting our range level up to 53 and our fletching to 50. Only one more quest to go. Using the fairy rings again to enter the desert, cause who wants to pay Shanty 5 coins, we approach the sobbing Irina and begin the tourist trap quest. Boo-hoo! Oh dear, my only daughter! What's the matter? Oh dear, my daughter Anna! She's gone missing in the desert and I fear she is lost. Or perhaps, sob, even worse, expelled. Yeah, so she's afraid Anna's been captured by bandits and taken away to the desert slave camp. I mean, mining camp. That much I do remember, so I load up on some combat gear, pay the reluctant shanty tax, and head to the camp in search of her daughter. There's a neat little right-click option that offers more insight onto the mercenary captain. Not only does he seem to have keys, but it seems it'll take quite a bit for him to get his own hands dirty. I really like how it describes this and allows you to draw your own conclusions in the quest. I wish this was implemented more in other quests. Anyways, likely if I attack him, it'll initiate a fight with his surrounding men instead of him. So we talk to him, attempt to play towards his narcissism, and ask if we can help him. Yeah, you can kill the guy who's a leader of those desert bandits. We head over to the area he mentioned and meet Al-Shabim, who tells us that this so-called bandit leader is a figment of his imagination. Oh, and we also have really yummy pineapples. Noted. Returning to the mercenary captain, we do the opposite that we did last time, basically calling him a disease-riddled time waster. Yeah, he took that a little personally, and good, because the desert sand can personally welcome his bones once we're done with him. He drops the gate key. Now, despite the search option on the gate telling us plainly that people with weapons that enter the camp are treated rather harshly, I thought, well, I'll just kill those people who attack me. Nope, not an option. They toss you in a cell. We managed to escape and notice some footprints. If that light-stepped pair of footprints were indeed Anna, I'm afraid Mama's worst fears, aside from expulsion from the Wizarding Academy, have been realized. Changing our equipment to our best desert gear, aka nothing but a desert shirt, because the other pieces are still locked, we head weaponless back to the mining camp. Upon entering, besides a camel larger than most dragons, we notice a spattering of guards and some enslaved men. There's also a pair of large wooden doors. Watching them, we notice that only slaves go down there, so we might be able to access it if we dress like a slave. So we talk to a nearby male slave, who besides his great plans of escape has no idea how to do so, and after a few dead dialogue trees, I'm able to unshackle the man and make make the suggestion that perhaps we can have the shirt off his back. Literally. He says fine, but wants desert clothes in return. This has been a bit of a sticky point for us, considering the set does not unlock the individual pieces. We have the shirt, but oh Nelly, that is remarkably convenient. I guess since we had the shirt on us, the game wanted to specify what other pieces of clothes we needed, so the robes and the boots are individually mentioned, completing our set. Of course, we immediately head back to Shanty, buy a couple sets, and while bringing the robes to the slave wearing the robes, we complete the second last easy desert task: wear a full set of desert robes while entering the desert. Robes exchanged, we're given a wonderful set of slave robes, a quest item. Donning the flea-riddled robes, we pass through the doors without issue. We enter a large, winding mine with many male and female slaves. At the end of the winding stretch of the tunnel is a guard checkpoint, and after buttering up the guard and agreeing with everything he says, he asks us to find him a tenty pineapple as payment for a change of pace. How the heck does he expect a slave to get him a tenty pineapple? Well, I guess that's for us to find out. Hey, wait a second, you got pineapples? Can I have one? Oh no, not the word. How dare they? Wait, no, this is a regular favor, not a small favor. This'll be fine. He wants us to get some secret blueprints from Captain Saeed in the mining camp. Apparently he has a secret weapon, and if we get the blueprints for him, not only will he share the pineapple, but also let us in on how to manufacture this weapon. Heck yeah, it's a deal. Also, here is a convenient key to open the chest the blueprints are located in. Damn, you've been at this for a while. It's here. This is the chest, yet despite what I say, I can't quite figure out how to distract Captain Saeed. Maybe I'd light a fire outside? Maybe no, that's likely the wrong option. We did have a dialogue option for books, and that led to jailing, so maybe we need to check the books out? Ah, sailing book. How aptly timed, considering. And alas, a new dialogue option arises. Distracted by the tales of the sea, we use the key, snag the blueprints, and return to the pineapple camp. Oh, so now we need to make the item for you in order to learn the secrets. Oh, tricky. But also, I'm gonna say yes, or the quest ends here. He says to use the special anvil to the north tent. It's a dart. A bronze dart, which is a rather interesting unlock. Not quite useful yet, but interesting nonetheless. Pineapple in hand, we bribe the guard and pass him. We find a barrel, because I remember this barrel, and using this minecart, we sneak through the no humans allowed area to find ourselves in the deepest depths of the mine. At the very end, we find Anna, and we find she's still quite sassy. I also found out we should not badmouth the guards when the guards are so close, as we're tossed into a mining timeout and told to get 15 rocks all at once in order to leave. I guess these water skins aren't too useful, so 15 rocks later, we reconvene with Anna, force her into the barrel, plop her on the minecart, find her again, plop her onto the lift, get a little scared for a moment as this guard starts talking to me before realizing it's likely part of the quest, hoist her up, plop her on the camel cart, make some funny jokes, and lastly, bribe the man with 100 coins to leave now. Anna in a barrel in hand, we return to Irina, give her the Anna in a barrel, and secure ourselves some free experience and agility, cause all the other ones are really fast and easy to train. Quest complete. Prerequisites complete, hopefully. We head over to Asgarnia Smith, who does indeed have new dialogue. We're also warned that we don't have the skill requirements to complete the quest, but there it is. Desert treasure mentioned in the chat, so now we can check what we need. Okay, so we need 1 fire making and 3 thieving levels. We are super close. And yes, we are going to start the quest anyways. To summarize a lot of text, Asgarnia found a tablet with a lot of ancient words and has given us a copy to deliver to the dig site, Terry Belando specifically, for translation. Good thing I have a dig site pendant. Hey Terry, mind translating this for me? Mind not fanboying over Asgarnia Smith? Oh wow, that was fast. Now, of course, we take a peek and read the translation. This is Lorebound. If this unlocks ancient magics for us, that would be phenomenal. Now, the first 3 pages is merely fangirling about Asgarnia Smith, but the main translation is roughly as follows. The permanent journey of the people ended, and so it came to pass that deep in the fiery desert, the gods decided amongst themselves that the fortress would be the selected place that would imprison the power. Thus guarded by the dead and defended by the diamonds of the ancient magics, so it was that the gods left the 4 diamonds as the keys, guarded by the dead and held by the strong, so that the power might be forever imprisoned. Of course, as Garnia, the archaeologist, said there might be a hypothetical 50-50 split if there's a treasure at the end, so long as the treasure was not documented further, so to speak. Hell yeah, grave robbing and treasure hunting? That is totally my thing. Now he decides to stay here in the north and asks us to head to the south to the Badaban camp to see if we can gather any further intel. The bandits themselves don't seem too helpful, and with so few named NPCs in the area, what we have to do is fairly limited. Elbus gives us a general history of how his people gathered in the desert and why they're so hostile to people who worship the gods of Saradomin and Zamorak. Apparently their civilization stretched all the way to the White Wolf Mountains before the God Wars, but the constant wars drove them into the desert, into this little corner of the world. The barkeeper won't talk to us unless we buy a drink, so we better come back with a cash stack apparently. 650 coins later, that's an expensive beer, which, considering this is what he called beer and it only means one thing, we're gonna count this one as a very strange unlock as well. Upon asking him about the diamonds, the 4 diamonds of Asandra, we're on the right track, I see. He tells us it's a fairy tale passed down by the elders, and we should speak to— oh, hey Eblis. Oh, good, there's a new dialogue option. So apparently these diamonds are a rather soft spot for these people. He apologizes and literally goes out of his way to explain these diamonds to us in detail. Apparently the servants of Zamorak stole the 4 diamonds long ago, and there are warriors which guard each diamond. They're not likely to hand them over peacefully though, so we're going to have to take them by force. The 4 diamonds, one of blood, ice, smoke, and shadow. He happens to know of an ancient spell to scry the locations of the diamonds, but we need to gather a few ingredients for him in order for them to work. We require 12 magic logs, 6 pieces of molten glass, 6 steel bars, plus normal bones, ash, charcoal, and a single blood rune. And that is the first mention of a blood rune for us, so that is a new unlock. Very nice. We head to the bank, toggle our blood rune from red to blue, realize we're out of molten glass, so we pop by the charter ship trader for some soda ash and some sand, and there is the molten glass. We got the steel, the runes, the charcoal, the ash, the blood rune, and not the magic logs. Yeah. So we have the logs unlocked, but we haven't gotten any of them, ever. My first thought was, hey, let's go to Wintertodt, because of course we need to get level 50 fire making for desert treasure anyways, so I thought, 2 birds, 1 stone, right? Let's get our fire making level up and then see if we can unlock Wintertodt. 50 fire making achieved, so we head over there, and it turns out the boss and most of the mechanics are spoken about. Making potions to revive the fallen pyromancers, cutting the bruma logs to add fuel to the fires, but you know what isn't spoken of? Fletching. Why fletch indeed? Now, I do remember needing some warm armor, but I think that our only warm armor is the yak hide that we got from the Fremenic Isles. So I fill the rest of our slots with some graceful, grab some cakes, and head on in. Now, I haven't done Wintertodt in a while, back when it did physical damage to us. Instead, this heat meter exists. Our first kill was just under 6,500 points, and I thought, yeah, that should be enough. That's 14 pulls. How rare could magic logs be? How rare indeed. We got some searing pages, but no magic logs. Okay, so this might take a while. I soon realized that we could use the potions that we used to revive the pyromancers on ourselves, so we scrapped the cake entirely, head to the actual Wintertodt world, and only get 2 pulls per run, so this might take a while. Okay, never lucky. Big run, 28 more pulls. Surely that's enough. Never lucky. There. 20,000 points. That is 42 reward points. Surely now. Never lucky. I mean, warm gloves aren't nothing, I think. That's 3 out of the 4 warm clothes to minimize Wintertodt damage, I imagine. But no magic logs again. I thought perhaps there was a reason we weren't getting the logs. I swore they came from Wintertodt, so I put out a little Hail Mary post on the YouTube posts tab, hoping for some answers. Of course, sorta spoiler free, and boy oh, did you guys have some answers. 3 people just told me to get chopping. That's fair. We had skeletal wyverns from Steve, Yomi tree cutting, which we can't do anymore, revenants, lots of revenants actually, a couple nature implings, barbarian assault high gambles, Wintertodt of course, and the Shades of Morton silver chests. Obviously I continued with Wintertodt for a little while the comments were rolling in. I was already there, of course, and while I didn't get any magic logs, I may or may not have gotten something else while streaming in the Chunkman Discord. I wish those were magic logs. No! Stop giving me the good but not... Ah, no! You know what? Nah, big search. Let's get this over with.
Collection log slot.
Okay.
Completed.
I'll take a broom, a torch. That's nice. But where are my damn...
Collection log slot. Completed.
Fire tome?
I just got a freaking tome of fire, man! Sorry. Oh my gosh. Oh.
And what? That's you logs? Or no, that's Willow.
Yeah, no magic logs, but I got a tome of fire! Damn! Oh, that sucks! But it's also great. Oh my gosh. Tome of Fire. So yeah, we're gonna take a little break from Wintertodt. Despite several additional attempts, we're not getting the logs that way. So obviously we're mid-desert treasure. We want to pursue this. And we need the logs, so it's time for a poll. Which non-Wintertodt method should we pursue? Because I'll be real, hour 1 okay, hour 6 less okay. Option 1, time to go back to Barbarian Assault. Not only could we get the magic logs there, but it could also unlock dragon bones along with several other very helpful items. 2, we do it the old-fashioned way and power level some woodcutting. I'll probably do Wintertodt to level 60 woodcutting here and then swap to use or some AFK shenanigans for the rest. Hop on some Skulliceps at 65, go from there. 3, we finally get up our Hunter. This would involve training through our very few unlocked methods, hitting level 40, where we would then unlock the Hunters Guild and spam the crap out of every single new task. This would unlock a lot for us, right up to Nature Implings, which I think might be mentioned by Enlock Inquisitor. And 4. Now this was tough. I debated between Shades of Morton and Revenants, but I think ultimately because we haven't had a wilderness-focused content just yet, mixing it up and doing Wilderness Slayer hunting for a Revenant's task would be pretty fun. And if we ever get super unlucky here, we do have a backup. At level 72 Slayer, Skeletal Wyverns, which we do have unlocked thanks to the Basement Museum, are killable, and they apparently also drop magic logs. So what should our focus be? Minigames, woodcutting, hunter, or slayer? It is your choice in the poll in the description below. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and a very special thanks as always goes to our channel members, Ahumaya, Harry Enjoys Ducks, Rivacious, Nantuko Avatar, and One Green Fig. If you're new to the channel and made it this far and haven't yet subscribed, silly, do so by clicking on the modified dig site pendant floating there in the circle to your left. It's free and lets you know when I'm about to drop a new episode. Speaking of, hope to see you again. Toodles!